Hello, my name is Jerica Kirkland, and today I will be discussing anaerobic respiration. I am currently enrolled in Benjamin Blair's Intro to Biology Class 1. In order to understand anaerobic respiration alone, one must be able to understand both the differences between anaerobic and aerobic respiration. In anaerobic respiration, there is not oxygen required. However, in aerobic respiration, oxygen is required. In anaerobic respiration, glycolysis is the only one of the three running because it does not need oxygen in order to fulfill the regeneration of NAD+. Anaerobic respiration also says that it is forced to stop over a period of time because organisms will no longer be able to exist without oxygen. In aerobic respiration, it is continuous because oxygen is present and organisms are able to breathe and go through all three processes. In anaerobic respiration, a mitochondria is not needed. In aerobic respiration, a mitochondria is present. In anaerobic respiration, glucose is present, however, oxygen is not. In aerobic respiration, oxygen is present in order to complete the duties of glycolysis, Krebs cycle, and electric transport chain. What is anaerobic respiration? It is the metabolization of glucose without oxygen. In glycolysis, glucose is broken down by enzymes releasing energy and pyruvic acid without the use of oxygen. In the other processes, such as the Krebs cycle and the electron transport chain, oxygen is needed in order to regenerate NAD+. Because there is no oxygen to oxidize, the cell has to figure out another way to regenerate NAD+. As seen in the chart above, anaerobic glycolysis is labeled. It does not have the use of oxygen. However, in the Krebs cycle below, oxygen is needed in both hydrogen and carbon in order to reproduce ATP. Why organisms use anaerobic respiration? It is a temporary energy source used to regain ATP while regenerating NAD+. Similar to donut tires, you are only supposed to use anaerobic respiration for a temporary amount of time. Otherwise, like a car with a donut tire, it will undergo much damage. The body would not be able to continue its function if anaerobic respiration was continued. Organisms that can survive without oxygen. Bacteria, archaea, yeast, and muscle cells. They use anaerobic respiration as a means of survival when undergoing a lack of oxygen. There are a plethora of other organisms that can survive without oxygen, but only temporarily. There are two types of fermentation. This is a form of aerobic respiration. It occurs in the cytoplasm. Alcoholic fermentation is a process used to acquire wines and liquors. Lactic fermentation is commonly known by gym goers. As reps increase, they begin to get tired. Alcoholic fermentation. As seen in the equation below, CO2 and ethanol are produced in order to undergo the process of NAD+ regenerating and continuing on. In bread dough, there is a lack of oxygen in which yeast can only break down partial amounts of sugar. In this process, alcohol and carbon are produced, which help the bread rise. In beer, yeast converts glucose in the wort to ethyl alcohol and carbon dioxide, which gives beer its alcoholic content. Lactic fermentation. As seen in the equation to the left, lactic acid is produced, and this is able to undergo the process of NAD+, reproduce, and continue on the process as if oxygen was present. This is used in both animals and bacteria. When one receives a muscle cramp, it is usually due to the buildup of lactate. Oxygen heals the buildup of lactate, so this is why lactic fermentation is only temporary, because over time the lactate buildup becomes too much for humans and/or animals. Examples can be sprinting or bacteria in milk. For example, when animals, such as cheetahs, sprint over time, they become tired. This is a result of the buildup of lactic acid. Or, like the previous example of gym goers, as they continue to do reps, over time, their tiredness increases and they begin to hurt. The heart and lungs can no longer keep up and oxygen is needed.